Hi guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review of Married at First Sight season 13 episode 15 called Memory Lane and a Dirty Little Secret. So the couples finally leave the retreat. They all head back home. Johnny's wearing his little pink shorts again. I put that in my note because that's a very important note to put. Um, Johnny and Val, they get back to the apartment and like they're barely talking. It's like very awkward vibes. I guess she asked what he's gonna do. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna go take a shower, whatever." And pretty much she's just upset because it's like they're still, well, not still, but they're doing level one conversation. She wants to level three and even mentions like I have deeper conversation with people on the plane than I do with my own husband at this moment in time. So she's just kind of over it and annoyed and a little bit upset at the same time. Like she all in the fields watering plants outside on the balcony. And Johnny, like I said, went inside the room to go take a shower. We move on to Zack. He's meeting up with Dr. Pepper. He wanted to meet with Dr. Pepper separately without Michaela to discuss what done happened at the retreat and throughout the whole marriage. So he tells Dr. Pepper what happened after, when she meets up with him. And he mentions that he called and talked to his exes. I don't know, he didn't mention how many, but he talked to them to ask them, how was he in the relationship, especially when it came to conflicts? And I guess all of them, depending how many he talked to, I feel like it was only one, but he said they, so I'm going to assume at least two, done told him that he likes to avoid conversations. So for him, in his mind, he doesn't understand how it's him being the reason for Michaela just reacting the way she reacts. And I'm just like, because Michaela crazy as hell. Okay. He doesn't feel that he provokes it. I'm just like, I don't see you provoking it necessarily, Zack. But at the same time, Michaela is a person, she be saying abandonment triggers her because she has abandonment issues. But I guess from what Zack's saying, sorry, there's something on my screen. Dang it. Okay, from Zack saying that, if she doesn't want to ride with him, he's going to go home now. I guess that triggered her and made her. So in her head, she thinks he provokes her, but he doesn't think he provokes her. So Dr. Pepper wants Zack to talk with Michaela. So of course, Michaela done showed up. She was already there to begin with. And she sits down, talks to Zack. Zack doesn't want to. He expresses that to Dr. Pepper. But like I said, Michaela already there. So she walks in and sits down to them. Of course, they're on opposite sides of the couch. They are all pretty much on opposite sides of the couch for the whole episode, the couple of times that they met with Dr. Pepper. And in this moment, I'm just like, what the hell's wrong with Michaela? Like this, when she acts out, does Michaela black out or something to the point where she doesn't understand or remember what she done said and what she done did? Obviously she forgot that she said she would go home with Zack in that moment, but I'm just like, she was just acting like she did nothing wrong, like she does nothing wrong. So in this moment, she proceeds to tell Dr. Pepper that Zack just left her and, just left her by herself and abandoned her. And she told him not to leave. And of course, abandonment is her biggest trigger. And last episode, I was explaining like this can't continuously be an excuse, Michaela. Like, I understand being abandoned is something that's hard for you to deal with, and that's a trigger for you. But at the same time, Michaela, this can't continuously be an excuse for you to act out and act the way you do. That's just not, no. So she plays victim and goes into saying that she tried to text him saying that she loves him and doesn't want to lose him, but of course he's not responding. And I'm just like, Zack, what the? Not Zack, but Michaela. I'm just like, because the way she was saying it was kind of like, I just wanted it to make it work. I don't want to lose him. I tried texting him. I love him. And, being abandoned is like one of my biggest triggers and fears, and he just left me. He's always leaving me, and it's like I don't want him to leave. I asked him to stay, but he just kept like, girl, what are you talking about? No, can we rewind like they did last episode so we could see how you done said go home now, leave? And I think they even showed a little flashback of that. So, and this whole time she's going through all that, Zack is sitting there, he just like, nah, you capping, fam. You capping, because that's not what happened. Was like, he didn't say that, but his whole facial expression, his whole demeanor, his whole body language was showing like, bitch, don't even start with that BS. So, of course, Dr. Pepper's looking like, trying to understand Michaela, just like, yeah. Zack's saying he can't even respond right now because he knows Michaela's on bullshit. So Michaela then continues with the victim blaming. Michaela continues to be the victim and saying, Zack paints her out to be such a bad person, and he has no evidence of her reacting crazy. And I'm just like, nah, Zack don't got the evidence, but the producers do. He don't get the evidence, but we do. Listen, I could go on Married at First Sight on demand right now from Lifetime and show you to your face how you be acting, Michaela. What are you talking about? Okay. Like somebody on Twitter said, like, does she not know that she's being recorded and that she's been recorded for these past 7 to 8 weeks at this point? Come on, Michaela, stop capping. So Zack's over it, and he just gets up and he leaves. So he goes to commercial for dramatic effect, comes back from commercial, and Michaela's talking in confessional saying, this is an example of how Zack is always leaving her. He always leaves her. She's not the problem. And you think I'm the problem? Yes, Michaela, you are like 75% the problem. Zack is like 25% the problem. Michaela, you just crazy. You a crazy ass bitch. I wanted to say another word, but Michaela, you crazy, girl. And you need help. And that's not even trying to be funny, even though I said it in a funny, jokingly manner. But at the end of the day, Michaela, on all honesty, you need help. You need to go talk to somebody. You need to figure out what is going on with you psychologically, because psychologically you are not all there. You got a major, not even a little anymore, because I said little in my other reviews. You got a major ticky boom boom, and that needs to be evaluated by a professional. So she's still sitting there with Dr. Pepper, and she explains to Dr. Pepper that she has these panic attacks when he leaves, and she felt scared and abandoned. And of course she's crying at this point, and she's traumatized, etc. She just goes on and on. I'm just like, I'm done with this scene. I'm done with Michaela and Zack. They just need to be done forever. And hopefully they don't say yes on decision day. And I think Dr. Pepper gave her advice. I don't know what Dr. Pepper does say, because I was just over at that point, because even Michaela was going to saying she didn't have that feeling ever since her dad died. And I'm like, first off, do not compare Zack to your daddy, because he is not your dad. And I think in the beginning of the season, did Pastor Cal tell her that? I think so. When they first had their first blow up, I don't know. I think he said, but pretty much, Michaela, Zack and your father are two completely separate people. Your dad is up here on a pedestal, of course, and I understand that. Zack, you try to put him on the pedestal like your father. It'll be nice. Like I think I said this before, but I will reiterate it. I don't know for sure, but it'll be nice to have someone like your dad, because you love your dad so much and you see him as this such of a great person, which I'm sure he was. But at the same time, Zack is his own person. You can't be comparing him to his dad to the point of being like, I don't know, like every little thing, every time he leaves or walks out the door, it's like that last time you're going to see him. No, you just crazy. He left because of you. If it wasn't for you acting the way you be acting out in these streets on camera, okay, not even in these streets, out in these farmhouses, he wouldn't have left. If he wasn't being crazy and being so possessive the way you be, but at the same time pushing him away, but wanting him there at the same time, he wouldn't be like that. And if you didn't, and if you remembered how you be acting and really take accountability, true accountability for the way you be acting, he wouldn't be leaving like the way he do. So, Michaela, you need help. Anywho, we move on. I guess for this episode, the couple project is for them to show their childhood experiences with their spouses and to write a letter to their younger selves per math's tradition. They've been doing this for the past few seasons, probably more than a few seasons. So Johnny brings Bao to his childhood home and shows her childhood pictures. They didn't even go in the house. They're outside of the house. Shows her childhood photos of him and his family, and I guess he admits that he has dad issues, and I'm just like, can we admit that you have mama issues too? Because you did say your mama showed you no love and affection physically, so you always wanted that from a female. I know I'm stuttering, but you always wanted that from a female, and you want her to like you more than you like her. So no, you got mommy issues. So you got parental issues from both sides, not just your daddy, Johnny, from your mama too. So he reads his letter to himself, to his younger self, and he typed it out. I was like, oh damn, like you really typed this out instead of just writing yourself. And okay, cool. So I'm not gonna read or remember everything he said word for word. The only thing I took from that letter was he put a note in there for him to forgive his father. So then he proceeds to tell Bao that he did try, made one last effort where he flew out, him, his sister, and his mom to LA to try to saying, oh, I bought this house. Can we make it work one more time? But like I said, he already done left. So the mama just like, nah, man, we done. Nah, nigga, you had your chance, nigga. Fuck you, bye. And I'm just like, well, I don't blame your mama. Your mama did a great thing. He already dipped out on her and the kids. And you think you just gonna bring me out of Houston, the Texas stuff where we build something to come to LA and spend all this damn money on a bag of chips, because it's expensive over there. So to spend like $10 on a bag of Lay's chips, potato chips, and live with you in this house that we probably can't afford because it's expensive as hell to live in LA, and just start over, hell no. But no, you wanted to come out here and you probably was fucking other bitches while you was here in LA. No, ain't gonna happen. Never. Nah. So she said no. I think Johnny said something to the effect of like he was happy that she chose that, but I guess he wants to be married so bad. And I'm just like, technically you are married, sir. But, I don't care really what else he has to say. Johnny, a fuck nigga. Anyway, okay. So we move on to Gil. He drives Mirla around the neighborhood he used to grow up in. Then I guess they get out the car, so they walk in, and Gil's talking about he was a bad kid. He got into fights. He was doing things that he wasn't supposed to be doing. And I guess as they walk in, they come up to the apartment that he shared with his father. I think his mother too. I don't remember if his mother also lived there, or if she was in Colombia this whole time, like of his whole life of him living in America. But that was the apartment where his father was unfortunately shot at, and he died at the hospital, or pronounced dead at the hospital. But he goes into the whole story of that day, and I'm just like, damn, like, we're living this again. And for me, I'm just like, hearing him tell the story again, I'm just like, now that it's real and seeing the apartment, I'm just like, I can't even imagine. I think he said he was 14 at the time, and I'm like, listen, rest in peace to Gil's father, rest in peace to Marila's father, rest in peace to Michaela's father. Like, it was just sad. So he tells the story and tells Marila this is the first time he ever brought like someone to see the apartment. Obviously, that's his wife. And Marila is just, appreciative that he was, vulnerable with her and telling her that story. So moving on, because I don't want to stay too focused on that's just too much of a pulling at my heartstrings for me to keep talking about. So we move on to Jose. He brings Rachel to one of his childhood homes. He says one of it, so I guess either his mom or his dad's house. I don't know. Showing pictures when they go inside. First they talk outside, and I think Rachel says something like, oh, she appreciates that they're both turned out to be good kids or good people, despite the fact that both of their parents are divorced. Okay, so they go inside the house, and he's showing her pictures, and I'm just like, Jose, this haircut that you had, this ain't it. Like, I don't know what year it was that you decided to do that haircut because, him and his basketball pictures. But this haircut, Jose, what is this? What is that? Um, they go into the kitchen and, like I said, I wasn't really paying attention because I'm like, Jose, Rachel, like, what is there to really pay attention to? But he goes into the spiel of, he was poor, so he always had rice and beans for dinner. And, of course, that's going to stretch longer than something else for dinner. So he's tired of eating rice and beans. And then Rachel's just like, well, she doesn't see that as being poor. She just sees that as being Hispanic because Hispanics eat rice and beans. And I'm just like, Rachel, a lot of people eat rice and beans, okay? Just not Hispanics, okay? Me, Haitian, rice and beans. I got friends that are Jamaican, rice and peas. Like, what we talk about here, it's the same thing. And while you think that it doesn't mean you're poor, at the same time, though, Rachel, I can see both sides. I can see it as a way of like, no, that's just the way Hispanics, they just eat rice and beans all the time. But at the same time, from Jose's perspective, it's like, he probably wanted variety. Listen, as a Haitian, we ate rice and beans and chicken, all that stuff. We ate that all the time. So I don't necessarily see it as poor, but I was tired of rice. It was to the point where, like, once I graduated high school, I went to Atlanta for a little bit and stuff. Like, once I finished high school, especially once I started getting a job, rice and beans, what? Nah, I'm good. Nowadays, I eat it because, I haven't had it in a while, but I'm not going to be eating rice and beans every day. Hell no. I'm tired of rice, tired of eating rice. I be wanting to explore my horizon. So in Jose's aspect, he's just like, technically, getting a bag of rice is not that expensive, okay? So that will stretch you for however big the bag of rice is. That will stretch you for the week, maybe two. So he's just looking at it as, yeah, Hispanics eat rice and beans, but it's because it's cheap and it could last you. That's where he's coming from. But like I said, I can see 50-50. But I don't know. I feel like sometimes they just don't see eye to eye. And the way they express that, they don't see eye to eye. I'll just be like, you throwing some shade. Like, this is his truth. But Rachel did also mention, like, you live in a house. And they're like, did you not live in a house, Rachel? I don't know. At the end of the day, some people are more fortunate than others. Some people have more money than others. So, listen, I don't know what to say anymore, okay? I don't know what this is Rachel Jose. Okay. He think he grew up poor. She don't think he grew up poor. At the end of the day, y'all both better off now than he was back then, I'm sure. So that's whatever. We're moving on, okay? I'm not going to talk about him too much. Moving on to Johnny and Bao. Bao brings Johnny to show where she grew up. I guess technically it's different than it was when she was obviously younger. So the dilapidated trailer that she was born and raised in or whatever is no longer there. And she did have the pictures, so she shows Johnny the pictures of the trailer. And she's talking in the confessional saying Johnny doesn't deserve to see or hear her story, but she's going to tell him anyway because she wants him to understand her layers. And I'm just like, why? Why does he need to understand? Johnny a fuck nigga at this point, Val. Why are we still trying here? Once again, this nigga told you to your face that he don't like you. Why are we still doing this, Val? You're making me upset. Not as upset as the first episode when he was calling him a bro. But now, if I were to watch that episode over again, I'm like, yeah, he's a bro. He's a dumbass nigga. But, she goes into her story and whatnot and shows him the pictures. And then she goes into a spiel of her setting Barbies on fire at a bonfire or something. I don't know. Johnny was looking at her like, what the fuck? And I was also looking at Bao like, what the fuck? But, okay. So she reads her letter to herself, to her younger self, and calls herself Dear Little Bing Bao. And ends off the letter with something from Big Bing Bao. Now, that was the part I laughed in this scene. Even my husband, he was just like, what that? I'm like, that's cute. That little cute though. This is Bao. She's a quirky little girl. Okay, petite girl. So I thought it was a little funny. But she cries throughout the letter and whatnot, and Johnny, I guess surprisingly to me at least, comforts her, rubs her back, and the camera zooms in on his hand rubbing her back awkwardly. And I guess she goes into the spiel of her parents went through some shit and they're still together 50 years later, and that's what she strives to be. That's why she's always still committed in her marriage now, because she wants to be like her parents. So I guess in the confessional, I guess Johnny has this realization, epiphany. Is it epiphany? I think it's epiphany. Um, that he realizes why Bao's the way she is, and realizes that he's like his parents, and that's not fair to Bao. He's like his daddy, cause he always want to be dipping on girls and shit. Um, I don't know how he's like his mother, but I guess what his mother did to him too, technically causing him to be the way he is. So he sees that due to Bao's parents being committed and stuff, he understands why Bao's committed, and it gives him hope. And I'm just like, hope for what? What exactly are we hoping for, Johnny? What America's hoping for is for you to be done, to split up and never come back again. And I really don't want to have to hear him talk on Unfiltered when I watch it tomorrow. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to see that. Because anything that comes out of Johnny's mouth at this point is BS. And I'm over it. I'm over Johnny and Bao's relationship. And I'm definitely over Johnny as a person. But he says it gives him hope. I doubt it. America doubts it. But okay, whatever. Because we're going to see later on in the episode, Johnny fuckboy, that you going to come back with the bullshit in cahoots with Sarah's ass. Moving on. We get to Mirla and Gil. They play volleyball because Mirla played volleyball when she was younger or whatever. And talking about she still fits into her jersey, but now she got muscles. Okay, cute. All right, Mirla. All right, cute. Okay. And they play volleyball, and then Gil's like loser buys drinks, and I guess Mirla lost at her own game. At her own game, guys. Come back with drinks, and they sit down to have drinks, and I guess Gil's trying to see where all this Mirla-esque princessa comes from, and long story short, her mom, was a struggling single mother, and she just had to strive to do what she could for her kids. They didn't have a car, so Mirla was always like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. Like, she learned to be independent, and because of growing up struggling, her kids, Mirla's mom, like Mirla and her siblings, they did the best that they can for themselves to prove to their mom that she raised some good kids, and they're successful and whatnot, and Gil loves that about her. He loves the reasoning behind Mirla's drive, but also thinks that she forgets where she came from. And he didn't say this, but I'm just paraphrasing. He just wants her to be more humble, and I can agree that she needs to be more humble, Gil, but at the same time, I feel like she is, because she does say that she donates and stuff. So I don't think it's the fact that she's not humble per se necessarily. I just think it's the fact that you don't like the fact that she's so, I guess, not even show offy, because I feel like she's buying stuff for her validation, for herself, but just the fact that she likes to shop. Because I feel like if she was spending that much money but doing something else other than shopping for these name brand, high expensive apparel, you'd probably feel some other type of way. But just because she's buying all this shit for herself, you feel some type. Gil, yeah, we're going to talk about it later when you guys talk with Dr. Pepper. At this point, I can't fight this no more. I would have been over it, to be honest with you, Gil. Like, this is episode 15. We still talking about this shit. We still, because that's at this point, that's all you got bad. That's the only bad thing you have to say about Mirla. Like, why are we still talking about this? I'm done. When is this season over? Okay, it seems like it's gonna be close to over, but I just feel like you feel like you're getting closer to the end of the tunnel, but the tunnel keeps getting longer. When is this gonna be over? Because at this time, I'm not tired of Gil continuously talking about Mirla is this, Mirla is that. Okay, well, it's been how many days, Gil? Almost 2 months. You gonna stay with her or not, bro? Because she not gonna change everything for you, dog. Mirla is Mirla. Yeah, she could tone it down, especially with the complaining about shit. But as far as the shopping, we gonna get to it later. But she did say she can change some things, but she's not gonna change all things because she's not gonna change everything that she is that makes her Mirla for your ass. Especially when you still haven't told her you loved her. And she has expressed that she chose to love you. Moving on, Dr. Pepper sits down with Rachel and Jose, and she reads the notes on the fridge of promises that Jose made to her after he kind of apologized for logging her out. And Dr. Pepper asks, where's Rachel's? And Rachel's like, well, I didn't do nothing. And I'm like, but there's the falseness. There's the fake news, Rachel. Because later on we find out, yes, you did some shit. And some people may be like, oh, that's fine. But I'm just like, that is not fine. No. So you did some shit. You should put up there, spoiler alert for like 10 minutes from now, I will not call my ex and sleep at his house next time we get in a riffraff. Anywho, Dr. Pepper sits down with him. Rachel says that, what did she say? She sees that Jose is triggered when he doesn't get his space when he's upset. Yeah, to the point you get kicked out and then you go sleep at your ex's house. Okay. The rest of the meeting seems to go fine. Dr. Pepper asks something about, okay, we're transparent with each other, telling each other secrets and being 100% honest. Jose says yes, but Rachel says in the confessional, there's something she has to tell him that she has yet to tell him. And I'm just like, girl, what is it going to be? Obviously, you already know from what I said like 20 seconds ago, but I don't know. I'm just like, you guys wait till like the end of the freaking episode kind of to let us know. You could have just got over this scene by after the commercial break, and that would have been it. But they like to drag things. So we move on to Zack and Michaela. Zack asks Michaela for a closure meeting with Dr. Pepper. And I'm just like, okay, you guys are like, this is the final meeting to break things off, right? Right? Like, we can just be done and just have peace of mind for the rest of the season with y'all two. Right? No. That is not what happened. So they sit in there, opposite ends of the couch, of course. And Michaela's saying she fought and gave it her all. Zack is saying he gave it his all too. Dr. Pepper is saying she wants it to work. She didn't say that word for word. I'm just paraphrasing. Then Zack says some stupid... Zack, I don't understand why you say the things you say. You don't make no sense to me. You don't make no sense to America. He done said he will say yes on decision day if that means Michaela will continue to talk to him, whether they're together or not. Because his idea of, technically being married or not doesn't stop what could be happening between him and Michaela. Michaela says she's confused. I'm confused with you, girl. Michaela, you crazy. You crazy AF. But I agree with you with the confusion. Like, Zack, what the fuck do you want? So he's still on the mindset of like, okay, like, let's just divorce and start over. I don't know, man. I don't know. Michaela, she's just like, well, I would want you to say yes on decision day because you want to, not because you want me to continue to talk to you. And I agree. Like, no, if you want to say yes on decision day, that's because you want to stay married. That's because you want to continue this marriage and move forward. But I guess in his mind, he's like, well, that's why I'm saying yes, because I want her to continue talking to me. But it's just like, no. Like, nigga. She wants you to say yes to continue like being married and moving forward with the relationship, not getting a divorce and then starting all over again and then maybe not, taking a break and then maybe or maybe not getting back together. No. And that's probably why she was like, I can't last week. But see how dramatic that is. But Dr. Pepper. No, before that, Zack said something to the effect of he's going to wait for her. Something like that. And I'm just like, for why? If you're not staying together on decision day, Michaela going to bounce. She's going to contact her little sneaky link that she was talking about on episode 1 and just figure something else out with her crazy self. Dr. Pepper wants them to touch hands on the couch. And Zach was willing to. Michaela kind of seemed like I don't really want to, but she ends up like they just touch their fingers like this or whatever. And Dr. Pepper's project or homework for them is to have one more conversation before decision day to figure things out. Here goes Zach ass. He makes Michaela laugh. He was able to say something that made her laugh, and she was like, whatever, I can't. Okay. This nigga done said in front of Dr. Pepper. So, you want to go somewhere after this? I'm like, Zach, are you serious, Dad? You serious? To do what, Zach? Go somewhere after this to do what? To fuck? Michaela gotta have some banging ass pussy, boy. She gotta have some banging ass heat going on down there that made Zach go crazy for the puss to make him risk it all, risk his sanity. You know, one day he ain't with it, the next day he like, well, that pussy is fire though, man. I want to get another taste of that. Let me try to make this work one more time. Michaela, you want to go somewhere? You want to head on out? You want to go? What the? Zach, what is this? Zach said he wants to fix this. And I'm like, fix what though? What is this to fix? They leave. And of course, he walks away. Michaela looking, takes on her phone, trying to be slick or whatever, and they both get on the elevator or whatever. And I'm gonna fast forward a little bit because in the previews for next episode, Michaela talking to her sister. The sister, she's telling the sister like, "Oh, Zach wanted me to spend the night," and the sister was like, "What the hell? Like, did you do it?" And Michaela said, "Yeah." And I'm like, Michaela, does he have good D too? So he got good dick and you got good puss, so together it just creates a nice fire or something. That's great that you guys could both satisfy each other sexually, but after the sex, what do you have? Nothing? Oh, okay. So why don't you guys just be sneaky links and best friends, best friends, but friends with benefits at this point, because other than that, you got nothing. There's nothing else to do. Yeah, man. So Dr. Pepper sits with Gil and Mirla, and Gil talks about he wants Mirla to be more optimistic. Okay, what else is new? They talk about love. Mirla says she chooses to love her husband, but Gil has yet to say that he loves Mirla, but he still, sometimes he's driving home or wherever he's driving to, and he thinks like, I think I love this girl, but he doesn't want to say it out loud because in the past he said that he loved females early on and didn't really mean it. So this time when he says it, he wants to be like fully committed, fully like, yes, I love her, can say that with what's the word, not affirmation, is the word affirmation, I don't know. He wants to say with certainty that he loves Mirla. So he still hasn't said it yet. Dr. Pepper respects that. And she brings up the talk about house and kids, and they're still trying to figure it out. Gil's only thing, he just doesn't want Mirla to do the crazy shopping that she does. Mirla says, they're still trying to figure it out in regards to getting a nanny or something. I'm like, dang, Mirla, how much you made, girl? Like, if you can afford it, I mean, listen, y'all both work, so I guess it's either nanny or daycare. Unless you got somebody to watch the kid for free. In which case you should still give them something as a thank you. But that's just, that's neither here nor there. But, if y'all both working and stuff, and I guess, to each their own at this point, especially when Mirla's ass. But yeah, he just wants her to stop with the crazy shopping that she does. And Mirla said in the confessionals that she's willing to budge on some things, but not all things. And I'm just like, listen, if y'all got it the way it seems like Mirla do, and she can afford to get a house with you and afford to have kids with you and afford to even have a fucking nanny and still shop, that girl got bank, bro. So at this point, it's like as long as she's not buying like $10,000 outfits and stuff, listen, the girl gonna do what she gotta do. My only question is like, what you do all this shopping every year? Like, do you give some of this away or something or sell it? Well, she did sell her wedding dress from what it showed in the beginning of the season. So maybe she buys them, and then when she's done with them, she sells it. So, hey, she may not be making the exact profit that, she bought it for. She may not be getting the same exact money, but hey, she's still getting something. So listen, at the end of the day, whatever she's doing and all the money that she be spending is still working out for her, because at the end of the day, her bills are paid. She still has hella savings from what it seems like when you guys talk. And she can still afford to go shopping. And it seems like she's still going to be able to afford to go shopping. Like I said, once you guys get a house, have kids, get a nanny, all that. So, Gil, at this point, respectfully, shut the fuck up. I can't with y'all. Whatever. So we move on to Ryan and Brett. He brings her to the family property. They're on the what those things called? They're on something. He's driving around the thing with the establishment. So I guess it was like a hill to get down the hill to get to the water so they could go fish. And Brett's just like, oh my gosh. Okay, let me brace myself. I'm like, it's not even that big of a hill, Brett. Relax. Calm the fuck down. It's not that serious. It's not that steep of a hill and not that big of a hill. She acting like she was on freaking Mount Everest about to come down the whole thing with. Calm down. It's a little steep, Brett. Seriously, girl, bye. But yeah, they get through the little hill thing safely, and they go fishing. And I guess Ryan admits that growing up, he didn't have the best example of marriage, and I guess he, it hinders him now in the marriage with Brett. He didn't say that word for word. I'm just paraphrasing. And we get to where Brett reads a letter to her 10-year-old self. It was cute or whatever. Then Ryan reads a letter to his younger self, and he gets emotional talking about his friend Andrew and losing him in 2019, I believe. So, rest in peace to your friend, Ryan. Like I said in the beginning of the season, too many deaths on this show. Like, I can't. This too much pulling my heartstrings, and, it's unfortunate. But that's all I took from that whole scene. We move on to Dr. Pepper sitting with Johnny and Bao. Oh my gosh. This back and forth makes me want to just slice Johnny's throat. And I know I probably shouldn't be saying that, but it's just like, oh my gosh, Dad. Like, why are we doing this? What is with this back and forth shit? Like, it annoys me. Like, either you in it or you not. You not in it, then can we be done? I know there's like a week left until decision day, but fuck, can we be done, dog? I can't do another week with you with doing this stupid ass shit. So they sit down with Dr. Pepper, and I guess they're trying to work on their relationship with level 1 conversation. Dr. Pepper was like, what is that? And I'm like, Dr. Pepper, why don't you ask Pastor Cal? Because Pastor Cal's the one who told Bao to start with a level 1 conversation. So ask Pastor Cal, Dr. Pepper, because at this point, he's the one giving all these females bad advice. So Johnny speaks up, because I guess Dr. Pepper asked a question, and then Johnny lets us know that he spoke with one of Bao's friends, Sarah. Now, Sarah, doesn't ask him how things are going with the relationship. He tells her things are not really going that well. And Sarah tells Johnny that Bao always acts that way in her relationship. She always acts stank, and, that she would never date Bao herself. Would never have never have any of her friends date Bao, because Bao's controlling. And at the end of the relationship, she's going to have you being someone that you're not. So, of course, Johnny sees validation in this, because he's like, that's how he feels with Bao. And Bao's just looking like, what the hell? I'm looking like, what the hell? And Johnny said he doesn't want to try this at all. And I'm just like, okay, here we go with this. First off, he goes to dramatic effect and comes back. But I'm just like, first off, Bao, your friend Sarah, I'm not even talking about her, Johnny or Dr. Pepper. I'm talking to you, Sarah. You ain't shit. Bao's supposed to be your friend. What is this? First off, there's a way, I don't know. There's a way to tell someone something without throwing your friend under the bus. You could be like, yes, I understand Bao's challenging, but, and then you say the good things about Bao that would make Johnny want to stay. So clearly, Sarah, as Bao's friend, you ain't shit because you throwing Bao under the bus and making her seem bad. Like, I don't think Bao's perfect by any means. Not at all, because she pissed me off the first episode thinking that Johnny was a bro, even though he is a bro. But at the same time, you're supposed to be her friend. You're supposed to be pulling your friend up. Not being fake like Michaela's friends at the housewarming, but being realistic. Because Bao's not like just some imperfect person to the point where she can't grow to be better. If you're her friend, obviously there's reasons that she's your friend, right, Sarah? That you will like her. So I don't understand all this, that's the way she always is. I will never date her. I will never have any of my friends date her. Sarah, seriously? Then you don't need to be friends with Bao right now. Bao, I hope you ain't friends with Sarah because Sarah ain't shit. She praying for your downfall at this point. No, I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay, so it comes back from commercial break, from dramatic effect commercial break, right? Bao admits that she made her mistakes and they're not relevant right now, though. And she wished Johnny would have told her. And I'm like, yes, Johnny, you should have told her as soon as you talked to hating ass Sarah. What's with all these hating ass friends this season? I don't get it. I don't know. But Bao's heard in the confessional. She's heard that Sarah would say those things. And I'm just like, well, she did say on later why she doesn't tell Sarah stuff. And I'm just like, well, it doesn't seem like she's really your friend, is she, Bao? Bao says she's trying to be accountable for what she's doing wrong. Johnny looks annoyed at this point. He's like, he thinks that's her opinion. I'm just like, Johnny, please, I'm not trying to do this again with you. Like, don't even go there right now. Please don't even go there. Dr. Pepper said that they need to talk about it. And, she points out, I love the fact that Dr. Pepper pointed out that Johnny was so quick to accept whatever Sarah was saying about Bao and to be on Sarah's side. You just want to be on anybody's side that is not on Bao's side. And it's just like, what happened to you think this could work when she was telling you about her story and her parents making it work? You now trying to make it work. If you're not trying to make it work, bounce, Johnny. Because I'm done, tired, and talking about you and your shenanigans. This is ridiculous. So, Dr. Pepper wants them to talk. And she knows that Johnny don't want to do the emotional work, but welcome to marriage, Johnny. I don't know what the fuck you thought it was going to happen being in a fucking marriage. Not everything's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Not every day that is just like, oh, I just love you. No, there's going to be some conflict. There's going to be some disagreements. There's going to be some issues. The thing of a marriage and making it work is getting through those fucking, oh my gosh. It don't even matter. I don't have to say none of this to you, Johnny, because at the end of the day, you've been done checked out. So there's no point in talking some real shit to your face because all you see is bow, 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 bow this, bow that, as if you were so fucking perfect and you did everything completely right. You just had a freaking epiphany moments ago saying you realize you're your father, but now you back to this shit talking about, man, I don't want to make this work because Sarah done said some shit. Is Sarah with you guys every day? And listen, you have to think to yourself, if you're talking to one of your wives, because she's your wife at this point, if you're talking to one of your wife's friends and they saying this shit about Bao, what does that say about Sarah? You need to really be questioning yourself about that, Johnny. But in this moment, and I'm glad my husband pointed out, I'm looking at Bao and I'm looking at her arm, her left arm. And I'm like, Bao, what the hell happened to your arm? Where did that bruise come from? That looked like a little bad bruise. And later on in the episode, it looked like it was turning yellow. Where that bruise come from, Bao? Let me find out Johnny did something. I will pull a couple $100 from my savings account and take a flight to Houston right now. My husband won't let me. Because we saving that savings for some. But let me find out. Johnny. Let me find out let me find out. Moving on. Rachel and Jose, they get in bed and Rachel proceeds to let us know that the night that he locked her out, she done call her ex up and he answered, picked her up, and she spent the night at her ex's house. Of course, Jose was hurt and upset. And I just want to say this before I move forward in this scene. I'm just like, okay, I get it. He locked your ass out, left you for dead. I completely understand. You're upset and fuck him at that point because he said fuck you at that point, right? But here's the thing: if you're gonna get back with a nigga, okay, you called your ex, slept at his house. She says that she knew she had to tell him, but she just didn't know when. Maybe when you guys finally reconcile the differences and chose to move forward in the relationship, maybe that's when you should have told him, just so everything could be the cat could be out the bag, all the laundry could be aired out. That was the right time to tell him, Rachel, not later on when it seems like everything is good and now you just let him, oh yeah, by the way, when you kicked me out, I slept at my ex's house. First off, what about your little best friend that be telling you, that I don't like really anyway? Your little best friend in the beginning of the season, you couldn't call her or she didn't answer. What about your mama? She live in Houston, right? You couldn't call her? What about the pretty friend that you have? Her name is Stephanie, with the nice little eyes she got. The curly girl, the curly hair girl with the nice eyes. She couldn't answer the phone. So who was the first person you called? Because I'm just like, the first person that answers the phone is your ex? You still got his number on your phone? That's a red flag to me. Do you guys share a child together? Oh, you don't have kids? No? Do you guys share an animal together? Oh, you don't have pets? No? So why in the hell you still got his number that you could call him and he gonna just answer your call in the middle of the night and you gonna go to his house? Did y'all fuck? She didn't express if they fucked or not, and I think from what Jose's saying, that they didn't. But I'm just like, that's a red flag. The fact that you still had his number and you guys are no longer together, and I don't want to hear this BS. I'm like, oh, but we're great. No, no, absolutely not. Unless if you guys sharing like a child or like a pet, because I know how people are with their pets. Ain't no need for you to be talking to him. That's an ex. And the fact you still got, okay, Rachel, not once a cheater, always a cheater, but doing some shit like that, that's a red flag. And especially the fact that you're moving forward with your marriage, that is a red flag. And I don't blame Jose. I know people don't like Jose, but I don't blame him for being concerned with your ass. Because if you guys gonna move forward, you letting bygones be bygones, he's gonna let bygones be bygones. But his guard is up. Like he said, he's gonna trust you at face value, but his guard is up. We move on to Bao and Johnny. They eating dinner. They eating like what, salad for dinner? Of course, it wouldn't be Bao and Johnny if they didn't have a serious conversation during dinner. So, Bao proceeds to tell us and Johnny that she doesn't like to tell Sarah shit because Sarah doesn't give good advice. And all Sarah tells her to do is just move on. And that's why she always had trouble with her relationships in the past. And she doesn't think that Johnny should have talked to Sarah. Johnny's just looking like so annoyed. I'm just like, okay, what else? What else is new with these two? Really, what else is new? This is just repeating the same shit that be happening with them over and over. So Bao's just looking disgusted at this point. And I guess Johnny tries to explain the conversation he had with Sarah. I guess Sarah asked Johnny that if Johnny could see himself with Bao for the rest of his life, of waking up to her every day. He says no. I'm like, yeah, of course not, Johnny, because you would rather wake up every day to see another female in the bed. Because that's all you do is just date with no going nowhere. That's why they probably leave your ass. He leaves them. No, I'm pretty sure you went on 100 dates, Johnny. I'm pretty sure someone saw you in your little pink shorts and was like, oh no, this is not gonna happen. So he doesn't think he could spend the rest of his life with Bao. And he said he's done talking because the things he would say would be very damaging. And I'm just like, at this point, Johnny, you're very damaging. Not the things you were saying. You as a person is very damaging. I wish Bao would cut his ass out, but she's taking the higher, classy road. And I'm just like, you know what? Good for you, Bao. But at this point, I'm frustrated with Johnny. So I would cuss his ass out. I already low key made a threat to him early in the episode. I apologize because this is on. This is on. This is out there. This is out there. So I apologize for the threat. I apologize, folks. But at the same time, Johnny, you irritate the fuck out of me at this point. You irritate me. So Bao says, all right, I'm just going to stay here and stuff. The ball's in your court. Johnny gets upset and says he feels like the blame is always on him. And it's because it is, Johnny, because you a fuck nigga. At this point, really, you don't see your wrongdoings? And of course, we're going to get to the freaking Unfiltered, which I do not want to watch. Because every time I see that you're going to be on Unfiltered, I'm like, oh, what excuse you going to give now? Everybody already talking about what you're doing on Reddit, dad. Like, no. So she tells him she feels like she's walking on eggshells with them. Johnny gets up and bids her a good night and leaves the apartment. And I'm just like, man, now just be done with his ass. Put his ass on block on your phone. Johnny, you better put her ass on block on your phone because y'all just don't even need to talk to each other no more. Which I know you're still going to do it because y'all still going to have decision day and all that. But like at this point, I am done with you two. Please, 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 producers. This is episode 15. I don't want to really see them no more until decision day, which I know is not going to happen. But still, I'm over it. So lastly, we get to Ryan and Brett. They get to Brett's apartment. I guess she's supposed to be showing her pictures and stuff, but she really don't want to because she got a text 10 minutes prior from a friend showing that Ryan's on a dating app and that he matched with one of her friends that same day. So she confronts Ryan about it. Ryan admits that he did download the app that day, but he is deactivated. Brett was like, but you just matched with my friend like today. Ryan's like, I don't know how it's deactivated. And Brett was like, well, we got 1 week left of this whole experiment, bro. Like, really? We gonna do this? That's not right. Ryan agrees, but continuously tells us it's not active. And then Brett keeps saying it's still not right. Ryan gets up, he leaves, and shows the producer to prove that's deactivated. The producer's like, why don't you show that to Brett? Then I guess he sends her this text saying that, he was waiting until decision day to use the damn app and he didn't mean to do this to her. Brett's just like, really, dude, you're going to text me? We're going to do this? Da, da, da. That's where the episode ends. And I'm just like, you know what, Ryan? You didn't want to be in this relationship, but really, Nick, you couldn't wait a week until you did download the app. If you're going to download the app today, you could at least let the girl know, like, listen, we ain't going to, I'm downloading the app. This is over for us. So I'm just letting you know I'm moving on. So then at least she would have been like, okay, that's your decision. And nothing was going to happen between us anyway. And you guys could have been done, not just, downloaded it and then, I don't know, man. I'm done with them too. I'm done with them too. They ain't gonna try for shit. I don't understand. Why couldn't this be like, okay, clearly we're not together. Clearly we're not gonna move past this decision day, but we're just going to, get through the rest of this week and just be cordial to each other. No, we're not gonna do none of that. We're gonna act like we're still like in a committed relationship and get upset that someone's downloading apps. I understand the fact that you guys are, technically still married, but at the same time, Brett, ain't nothing gonna happen in between y'all. You guys were both gonna say no anyway. So he was just, I guess, being proactive and getting his app ready for the day of decision day. He could just be like, I'm back on the market. Females, what you want to do? That's where the episode ends, guys. Next week, what's gonna happen next week? The people are gonna be talking to their families to figure out what they're gonna do for decision day. Like I said, it seems like Michaela and Zack done fucked again. Rachel won't say anything. No. Ryan and Brett. No. Gail and Miller. Not that I could think of. Johnny and Bao. I think they talked to someone. I don't know at this point. We're gonna have to see what happens next week because at this, I don't know. This is getting to the point, in the beginning, everybody's always excited for the season because, fresh new season. Then in the middle, it's like, okay, the drama's starting to come. And then now when we get like past episode 10, that's when the show starts to drag, like more so for me. Episode 15, tonight, I'm just like, I'm ready for the season to be over because at this point, I can't keep doing this anymore. I can't. So, if you made it to this point in time of this video, practically 55 minutes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You just gonna have to wait for next week, because that's what I'm waiting for. I'm still gonna be watching. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna be watching. But listen, this is exhausting. It is. This is exhausting. But with that being said, 55 minutes. I'm gonna see y'all next week for the next episode. Thank you guys. Bye.